Hi, mate. Well, welcome to the show. It's good to have you here. Can we just start get a bit of background on you and like your health conditions and things like that, and we go from there?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, thank you for having me, first of all. I'm hugely honored to be, chat about my story, especially alongside some incredible people within the HYROX community. I think that's the whole point of HYROX, isn't it? We're all going around the same track. We're all going around the same kind of. We've all got our own journeys and our own stories, but ultimately we're all in it together. So I think that's beautiful. But my particular I know we talk a lot about the why of high rocks and the why of fitness and pushing ourselves, but mine's, I would always say, is directly linked to my disability. I was born with a bone condition called multiple epiphyseal dysplasia. Um, so it basically means that all my joints are misshapen. It's very arthritic, and I've got limited mobility. And I think from that is what is born from my philosophy, my motivation, my ethos in terms of pushing myself and defying limits, defying odds, and yeah, I guess in a roundabout, very long story short, it brought me to HYROX. So what a beautiful journey it's been.
Yeah, yeah, amazing. Can you just like describe like how those disabilities like impact day to day life, so we can sort of
Yeah,
get an idea there?
I mean, I always liken it, like, I don't know what it would be like to actually have concrete bones, but I always call it like concretification of my bones. Like every morning, my bones are just so. I mean, I guess everyone seizes up and everyone gets a bit, sore and stiff in the mornings, especially. But for me, like, that's the main thing for me, getting up, and once I get going I kind of loosen up, and the arthriticness of my joints kind of loosen up, and I feel like the pain management, it's always about pain management. Like, I'm constantly in a lot of pain with my condition, and I've kind of grown up with that, so it's, I don't know, it's pain's an interesting kind of arbitrary measurement of pain, isn't it? Like, it's interesting to, like, thresholds and stuff. But I've kind of got used to my pain levels, and pain management is everything for me in terms of my battles and my struggles on a daily basis. I guess in terms of how it impacts me, I'm not too disheartened or limited by the things that I can't do so much, but because there's a lot of things that I can do, but it's definitely a lot more painful to do certain things than other things. So I guess in a way, like, high rocks and fitness has given me a purpose and a why to push through that pain. Otherwise, that pain's just there for no reason. And I feel like the stronger I am, the fitter I am, then the less pain I've had in the long run. So yeah, I think, yeah, on a daily basis, it's more, everything's around like pain management of my joints and impact, and managing that kind of balance in the right way.
Okay. Um, you recently did high rocks, like you've touched on high rocks, but I know that you've done a lot in your life, sporting wise, that I'd like to get into. Is sport has sport been part of your life like since the early days?
Yeah, my parents were both PE teachers, so I think being active, being fit, and trying to do, push your limits has kind of been drilled into me from a young age. I've got an older brother as well, so he's 1 year older than me, able-bodied. Like, he had all the school records, everything, faster, stronger, everything. I think that shaped me more than I'd care to admit. Like, I like to think that I was very competitive with my brother when I was younger. And the one sport that I could beat him at was table tennis. So a lot of my journeys kind of shaped through my formative years of, like, playing table tennis. I started when I was 10 years old, having broke my leg playing football, and table tennis was almost my saving grace. It was the only thing I could really play without too many limitations and compete against able-bodied people, and beat them. So I'm obviously using my brother as a benchmark there. But yeah, that's kind of, from that, instilled all my, you know, the fitness element of that came with just trying to become a better table tennis player. Um, so I played 3 Paralympic Games in table tennis, which, not that not too many people in the HYROX world know that I'm a Paralympian, which I'm quite proud of now, because that was always my identity. I think it was always Dave, the table tennis player, Dave Paralympian. But now I feel like it's much more than that. I think what HYROX represents is, it's not necessarily about the medals or the times or your accolades or anything like that. It's the wider meaning behind that, and everyone can do their absolute best on their relative scale. So um, I've kind of migrated and evolved from that. Was my why back then, and then it's almost evolved into a much wider purpose now of, I don't know, inspiring others and not doing it for myself, of course, but doing it for other people as well. And I really feel that doing a HYROX race, like going around the track. So yeah, it's probably the easiest way of explaining why I love it so much.
Okay. It's amazing. Like what you've done table tennis wise. This I just want to stick on that a little bit
Yeah, sorry.
for a
Keep
second. So,
fast forwarding, don't I, to HYROX because I love it.
We'll get there. Trust me, we'll get there. But so you ultimately reached number 2 in the world rankings, I believe. 3 Paralympic Games. Like, is there anything that stands out from those Paralympic Games? Like any sort of special moments or anything that stand out to you?
I think it's always just the people. It's the people for me for everything. Like just being in a Paralympic village and seeing what humans can achieve given certain limitations and putting it in the, in a sporting context, it absolutely blows your mind, like what some individuals can do. And I was really, really proud of that for myself and being the level that I got to in table tennis. I mean, I don't like to compare Olympics, Paralympics and compare levels and everything like that, but I was a good world standard for like able-bodied, and that's what I loved about it. I could practice with Olympic standard guys. I traveled the world being a practice partner. I couldn't compete at that level because I couldn't move as quick. And obviously in practice, then it was incredible for me to be a person with a disability and compete amongst, that barrier, and that disability was nothing really. It didn't even get seen. It was how good you were and I think being able to demonstrate that on a world stage was incredible. Like I miss it so much. Yeah, just being in that environment, elite sport, 1% margins. And, when we're hunting every single second and every single percentage, like I've kind of lived that for that Paralympic world, just opened my eyes to it from a really young age. So I'm incredibly grateful for that journey. But yeah, I think, I always remember the first time I stepped into the Paralympic village, I saw a guy with like no arms and no legs, like just stumps and like walking on his stumps and just, these guys can't even do their shoelaces. I struggle to do my shoelaces sometimes, but these, no limbs, like, and then going out on the field of play and doing extraordinary feats of athleticism it kind of really altered my perspective on certain things in life. And I feel like perspective is a really powerful tool to get you through a lot of things. I loved sports psychology and psychology as a result of all of these things. And I feel like having that perspective and being able to mentally juggle and do some mental gymnastics in your brain, you always have the kind of ability to go forth and move to where you want to be if there is like any kind of anxiety or struggle in your life. I feel like having a little step back sometimes, and I feel that's what Paralympics gave me for sure, that unbelievable amount of perspective.
Yeah. Just before we move off of table tennis, I don't know how true this is, but I saw that you've got the most viewed table tennis shot ever, which is on YouTube, over 10 million views. Do you remember that moment? Do you remember hitting that shot?
Yeah, I guess that comes like that was amazing for me because it comes back to I'm really proud of demonstrating what Paralympians and what people with disabilities can do. I think that was almost like a milestone, like a iconic moment in Paralympic sport. It went so viral, and it just really showed that it's not necessarily about winning medals. It's not necessarily about. It's just about giving your all, never giving up, and all those. I could give you as many cliches as you want, and being able to demonstrate that and show people that was amazing for me. Which is why I'll never wax lyrical about I won this, I won that, because it looking back, it was never about that for me. That one moment, and if no one's seen it, then feel free to YouTube it. And like I said, I'm quite proud that people have forgotten, or not necessarily forgotten, or don't know that I used to be a table tennis player, because I've almost evolved and kind of chameleoned out of that and I still represent the same values and the same ethos, but just on another platform in another domain now, and I think that's beautiful. So
Yeah.
But no, I don't actually remember too much about it. It's a bit of a blur. At the time, it's just you're running on adrenaline and everything, and I always think, I look back now and it looks nothing like what I thought it looked like at the time. A bit like when you listen to your voice back, you sound nothing like what you think you sound like. Those memories bring me a lot of strength today, but they're kind of warped in, the age of time and kind of everything else that has happened. So beautiful times to be alive. Yeah.
What made you transition from like table tennis into, ultimately HYROX? I think you've done a marathon as well, which we can talk about. But what sort of made you transition from like table tennis into those other sports?
Honestly, I would say that's one of the biggest struggles in my life. It's nothing to do with like pain or hospital visits or anything like that. It's just not being able to play table tennis anymore. That was my purpose and my identity and everything that I represented and struggled towards, like, on a daily basis. Okay, I always battled with myself like we're just smacking a ball back and forth over a net. But really, if that's your whole purpose and that's like what you put yourself in the bin for every day, then it means a lot to you, doesn't it? I feel like you can always zoom out and zoom in onto particular lenses on how you want to feel in particular times in your life. But that was the be all and end all for me. But yeah, like transitioning out of that, I got really badly injured and my hip was it's quite degenerative, my disability, and my hip got so bad and all the twisting and the explosive power. Like, I'm a bit of a poor man's Andy Murray in that respect. So my hip was bad. I got a total hip replacement and I could no longer play table tennis anymore, especially not to that level. So I was broken and I did go down a bit of a hole in terms of mentally. Uh, didn't have that purpose anymore. It was a struggle, especially being in hospital. And I mean, very, very long story short, that epitome of needing to get back to my previous machine-like. I used to be a bit of an animal training as a professional table tennis player, and that was still in. I still had that animal inside me. I just couldn't. My body just wasn't following suit. So, yeah, that kind of my rehab from my hip replacement. I was in hospital for a good while, like a good month, because I got um, quite badly infected in my leg and had hematomas, blood transfusions. It was a bad time in my life mentally. But yeah, I had a benchmark of wanted to do a 5K, did a park run, wanted to do a 10K. Obviously fast forwarding very quickly, it's gone from half marathon, marathons, Ironman, HYROX, CrossFit. It's kind of all exploded from that. But if you'd have told me back then at that time, like, you're going to run marathons, I would have maybe thrown the towel in there and then. I think you can sometimes get a bit overawed by like the magnitude of certain mountains in your life, but you just got to climb a mountain and then find a bigger mountain, then find a bigger mountain. It just goes one step at a time, isn't it? So yeah, it's led me to, I feel like HYROX is the perfect blend of, functionality and fitness for life, just for me. I can do it without putting myself in the bin too much, and yeah, just do what I can on each day. It's here we are now talking to you.
So let's talk about HYROX then. So I know you recently did Birmingham, like we're filming this recording this just after Birmingham, but so like how did that go? How was your first HYROX? How many have you done? How have you found it? Things like that.
Yeah. So actually Birmingham was the year anniversary of my first ever HYROX. So my first ever one was Madrid last year, end of October 2020. What we're now 2024. 2025 now, but last year 2024 Madrid was my first ever HYROX. And I kind of got into it just through having been in the fitness kind of world. Did a bit of CrossFit, but I never really saw it as a competition. It was more just like training and getting stronger, getting fitter. I love it. I think, when the feeling of not being able to do those things, like, it's impossible not to get addicted to it. So obviously I was going to do a HYROX at some point. But I wasn't definitely not prepared for falling in love with it, like, so strongly. I thought, yeah, I'll do a HYROX, do one, and maybe that would be me done, just tick it off the list kind of thing. Like, I ticked off everything else, like climbing each mountain. But no, it blew me away completely. Just the format of it and everyone together, and I made so many connections, so many friends, and yeah, I ended up just doing. I did 10 last season in the end, qualified for the World Championships. Yeah, it just took off. It was unbelievable. Yeah, and some of the experience and memories I've had in HYROX now just completely surpass anything I've had in sport or the fitness world by quite a country mile, I
That's
think.
awesome.
Yeah.
Do you think like they're supporting adaptive athletes pretty well now? I know they've got like the adaptive rule book and things like that. Are you pretty happy with how they support that side of things?
Yeah, I think it's difficult. I've been in, I've had so many emails and conversations with the team. They're doing an incredible job. I think with the fitness element of, you know, no two disabilities are the same. It's an impossible challenge to make the rule book completely perfect, I think. But we're trying to find the best solution, and that's going to take time as we kind of grow and there's more and more adaptive athletes. That's my purpose now. I just want to get more and more, show more and more people don't have to have disabilities. People are, we're all slowly getting more and more disabled, I guess, as we get older, aren't we? So I steadfastly, staunchly believe that everyone has the possibility to complete a HYROX race. And it's about that inclusivity, and it's about making it possible for everyone, not necessarily the elite side of things where, okay, you want to be competitive, but it's being competitive against yourself. And I feel like the rule book is designed in a way where, yeah, absolutely anyone, no matter what your situation is, can compete in HYROX together. So I think we're slowly kind of the evolutions of the rule book and making things possible is challenging, but we're going in the right direction. So yeah,
Good.
but I think, for example, with my disability, it's very much if I can do it, I can do it, and then I can there's the endurance versus strength element. So I feel like certain things for me have to be scaled by weight. Um, Whereas for other disabilities like neuromuscular conditions, maybe the weight isn't the problem, but it's the distance that is the problem. So it's very hard to get it absolutely perfect for everyone. It's not even hard. It's impossible, I think, arguably. But it's just making it as fair as possible. And there are obviously ways where every single station and everything can be scaled accordingly, depending on anyone's situation. So yeah, but I think at the upper level, at the elite level, then yeah, I think we first need to grow it. We need to be more inclusive with nailing the inclusivity before you go to the competitive side of things. So for me, it's not about that. It's about just enjoying the ability to move. Yeah.
Um, when you are like from sort of like the mindset side of things, when you are doing these like events like HYROX marathons, things like that, what do you use certain mental tools when things are getting hard?
Yeah, biggest one for me is as I practice a lot or practice or I preach. Not even I don't like the word preach, but I like Stoicism. Stoicism has saved me when I've really struggled. Like I said, when I couldn't play table tennis anymore, like I just think, amor fati, love your fate, no matter what, and that can be so applicable to anything in life. It could be, it's raining today. Okay, you can't control that. Come on, let's go and enjoy it. Enjoy the rain. And like I said, no 2 days are the same with a disability. So you always have to make the most of what you can do. And with a HYROX race, it can be frustrating. You're not going to be able to send your fastest time every single race. I think that's unachievable for everyone. So you just have to give it your absolute all on that given day. And I think that's definitely maybe magnified with having a disability because it can be hard on certain days. So yeah, stoicism has saved me a lot, and I feel like that's why now that why for me has now grown into a wider purpose where I'd love to help other people from a mindset point of view, because I really do believe it's absolutely nothing to do with the body. Like that's what I love about fitness. Like it doesn't matter what the body can do. Like the mind drives absolutely everything. Um, so yeah, like I'm obsessed with psychology and performance psychology, and obviously the benefits that come with mental health as well, and just getting out and getting movement. Like I would love everyone to experience that in life, for sure.
Do you for people that like don't follow stoicism that closely or anything like that, is there any like particular books like you would recommend? Is it Ryan Holiday stuff? Is it
Yeah,
certain
your
websites, things
stuff,
like
Greg.
that?
Yeah, for sure. Like Ryan Holiday's stuff is actually amazing. Like even the titles of the books, obstacle is the way. Absolutely, choose the harder path. Um, if you can take the stairs, take the stairs. Why would you? Why wouldn't you? Like over the lift. Like I just feel like searching for difficulties and seeing difficulties as a blessing because they make you stronger just completely flips my mindset whenever a bit of struggle does happen, or whether a little bit of pain does come, especially in a marathon. You kind of want it to be hard. And then when it is hard, you're like, is that all you've got? Come on, give me more. Like it's not painful enough. Like I feel like you've got to train that kind of mindset where it's instant. Like you're just resilience needs to be trained. You can't just get resilience. You have to kind of be in tough situations. And I feel like now I do kind of be thankful, or try and be thankful, when a little bit of struggle does come. And I think that definitely helps me in HYROX races when I'm up against the wall and I am like, yeah, in the bin, so to speak. It's hard to recognize in the time, especially when you're emotional. But the more you do it, the more instant you can stop that negative spiral sometimes. So I feel like it's so, so applicable to everything in life. And yeah, it definitely helps me for sure.
Yeah. What is your, like you said, you're pretty much constantly in pain. Is that, what is your relationship with pain, of like your perspective of it? Is it uh like something you try to minimize? Is it like something that you embrace? Is it like, what's your relationship with it
I
like?
I always I always say like pain, like the cure for pain is in the pain. And it's very hard to explain what I actually mean by that, because I think there's multitudes of meanings. But um, in terms of like, for example, leaning into disappointment, or like when I did the Ironman this year, I inverted commas like failed to reach the complete Ironman. I was in so much pain, and I literally couldn't go any further, with about 20k to go. And that hit me really hard. I'd never been in that much pain before. I didn't actually know what my limits were until I thought I did, until I, I reached that. And I just feel like that, I don't know, it's like I always think it's such a arbitrary kind of mystical, what even is pain? Like, let me Google the definition of pain. But if you kind of frame it in a way where, uh, I need to, I'm not explaining this very well. It's so hard to explain.
Is it
Um,
like, are you sort of referring to like your judgment of, like, pain is like
yes,
a judgment of
absolutely,
the situation?
absolutely. It's a judgment of the situation. So yeah, let me actually, you can edit this pause out. I'm going to get a Marcus Aurelius quote.
I'll just talk while you're
Um,
looking. But we've had some
yeah,
people on
yeah,
here
yeah.
before, like Nick Bear, I think Rich Ryan as well, sort of talk about that judgment of, like, when I've asked them what they think about in the depth of a
Uh,
race and things like that, they're like, it's almost like an observation of the pain. So it's like, oh look, there's pain, but, or like, oh, I'm really suffering right now, but it's like, it's almost like detaching yourself from that, and like not having judgment of that, and just observing it, but potentially even leaning into it at that point, rather than like running away from it, if you like. I mean, I don't know if that's what you're referring
yeah.
to, but I know that's what other people have talked
No,
about in the past.
absolutely. Absolutely. I feel like I've explained it so many times that my brain gets frazzled sometimes. But yeah, this Marcus Aurelius, this is why I love Stoicism and quotes like this, because it's like instant little nuggets of wisdom, which when you're in a race, for example, or just in any struggle, you can just tap right into, and it kind of nips in the bud any negative spirals. This one is choose not to be harmed and you won't feel harmed. Don't feel harmed and you haven't been, which is, again, it's just literally, it's not the thing which hurts you, it's your judgment of the thing which hurts you. And obviously, Greg, you've clearly read quite a bit of Stoicism yourself. So, um, and there's, you can read as much as you want, but you have to put yourselves in those situations, because experience is the greatest teacher at the end of the day, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
How do you, similar question really, but how about like the, like your disabilities themselves? Like, how do you view them? Do you view those as a good thing, that's taught you so much and led you to these experiences through your life? Do you wish you didn't have them? Like, do you think about those?
Oh yeah. No, absolutely. It's a blessing in disguise, I think. Even going back to when I broke my leg initially, like if that hadn't happened, then I wouldn't be here today speaking to you, I guess. The domino effect is a mad old concept, isn't it? But likewise, like I think perceived bad things can happen in your life where they're actually good things. But on the flip side, perceived good things may happen which lead to perceived, bad things in inverted commas. So like I feel like amor fati can work both ways sometimes. So you just have to almost be okay no matter what happens. I think there's multiple. routes to the top of mountains as well. There's no right or wrong. I feel like, you know, everyone has their own journey, and someone might go on this path and someone might go on the other path, but you can be okay no matter what. I steadfastly believe that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is why I always say that every race is the perfect race, like, because every race happens exactly as it should do. I try and have that mindset, and when the goal is experience and to grow and get stronger mentally, then I feel like, yeah, every single race is the perfect race. It kind of
Yeah.
alleviates a lot of pressure and a lot of stress and a lot of anxiety, especially when you're on the start line.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you think like I know a lot of what you do has been inspiring to a lot of people, and also like from a resilience perspective, like it seems like you're very resilient. But do you think there's things that people misunderstand about those areas like inspiration, resilience that people get wrong?
Um, yeah, maybe. Like, inspiration is a weird old word, isn't it? Like, I don't think someone is inspiring just because they have a disability. I think that could be quite patronizing. I think, maybe sometimes inadvertently people are trying to be nice, I guess, by saying you're inspiring. But unless, I guess, the definition of the word inspiring is that it kind of, again, I'll probably go on Google and get what's the Google definition for inspiration. Um, the process of being mentally stimulated to do or feel something, especially to do something creative. Yeah, so that absolutely, encapsulate it in an absolute nutshell. I would love to genuinely be inspiring, i.e., someone will look at me who doesn't think they can do a HYROX and be inspired to do a HYROX.
Mhm.
Unless they are and do get up off their ass, speaking completely freely, and do a HYROX or do something that maybe, don't explain your philosophy, embody it. And I try and embody my values. And then if that inspires someone else to do the same, then that's inspiring. If not, then there's absolutely nothing inspiring about just having a disability, I would say. Is that a bit, does that make sense?
Yeah. I guess nothing inspiring about having a disability itself, but like getting up and doing high rocks and doing marathons and doing things like that, I guess people would see as potentially inspiring if they get up and do it
Yeah.
themselves as well. Yeah.
I'm proud of that. Like, that's obviously tied into my purpose, and it gives me an unbelievable amount of motivation myself, because I feel like you can be way stronger for other people than you can for yourself. Like, because you listen to those voices in your head telling you to stop.
Mm.
I'm professing all these things and I still feel pain and I still do struggle. And, like, especially in a marathon where, but if I can play little mental tricks on myself and be like, "Oh, I have to keep going for other people because I have to be strong for them. I have to inspire them." Like, that's unbelievably powerful for my own personal motivation to get up every day, which isn't always easy, obviously.
I believe you did a TED talk as well. Is that right?
I have done, yeah. I think I could do a better one now, though. Now, like, that was pre finishing table tennis.
Okay.
I think it was, yeah. I thought I knew my purpose. I thought I was mentally strong. I'd been through certain things in my table tennis career where, um, I'd failed, I'd lost matches, but that's not real failure. That's not real struggle, is it? Just losing a few table tennis matches or overcoming. I guess the point is that you don't have to compare your situation to anyone. But at that point in time, winning or losing was the be all and end all for me. And now, winning or losing doesn't matter at all to me. It's more than that. And I think, ironically, it's made me more likely to succeed because I've let go of that. So yeah, I think my experiences, having not been able to play table tennis anymore, not being able to walk, being in way more pain, coming back and running marathons, and like, without putting a measurement of distance or strength or time, like, just doing as much as I can. Like, I feel like I could do a way better TED talk now, ironically. Maybe I should go and do another one. I don't know. I
Yeah.
tend to waffle a lot. I need to structure it better. And what's the point of what I'm going to say, and then say it. But I think, that's another reason for my why as well, like running HYROX. How many times have you done a HYROX or a runner gone running and just epiphanies come out of nowhere? Like, your brain just seems to sort out your thoughts automatically without you even trying. Like, it's beautiful, isn't it? So yeah,
Yeah.
long may that continue.
Yeah. Let's just talk about your marathon quickly. So you I believe you set a world record marathon on crutches. Is that right?
Yeah, fastest ever marathon on crutches at the London Marathon. Well, at any marathon, but I did it at the London Marathon. Yeah.
Okay, and that
Uh,
was sub 6 hours, which is amazing. What was the marathon? Was the world record the goal at the time? Like you looked at that and
yeah. So this is probably the easiest way of explaining that kind of the difference between a goal and a purpose, I suppose. Because yeah, the goal was to break the world record, go below 6 hours. I did it in 5 hours 59. So just managed, like, pacing was absolutely on point. Um, but that was never really the purpose. It was, that was an added bonus. And I think having a time goal and having, racing against yourself is an unbelievable motivation. But it's never a focus for me. I think the focus for me was to the wider raising awareness, raising money for my charity, not my charity, my chosen charity. Um, Again, nothing to do with me, but a lot of my close friends have type 1 diabetes, so we're trying to run for a cure, basically, which will be very possible in our lifetimes, I think. So yeah, raising money for my mate's little girl who's got type 1. One of my best friends who was running as a pacer for me, like, had type 1. And I think I really resonate with that invisible struggle where, having type 1 diabetes, like, affects so much on a daily basis. And there's no cure for my disability, like, but if I could cure it, obviously, I'm not saying I wouldn't choose to have all this pain. It has been a blessing to me, but I think if I could take away that struggle for people with type 1 diabetes and help, race towards a cure, then absolutely. So we're doing all we can to, like, raise awareness. And there's times where you can genuinely save someone's life, and I feel like that's a real purpose.
mm,
Nothing, not, oh, I want to break 6 hours. So it was an incredibly powerful vehicle for raising awareness. And yeah, it kept me motivated way more when it got tough, like really tough. I think everyone wants to try and beat a world record, don't they? Everyone wants to try and go as fast as they can, but you don't always reach there, do you? So I think, yeah, I think having that stronger why can make you push through anything. I think I really believe that.
yeah. Was that the toughest thing that you've done? Is HYROX? Is the Ironman? What's the toughest thing you've done?
Yeah, I think the Ironman, in terms of pure physical, you know, challenges, like the Ironman was another level, obviously. But yeah, I think the marathon um was incredible. Like, I don't know, just it's, again, comes back to people, isn't it? Like, just running along down a road next to people who are on their own goals and their own journeys, don't think they can do it. Like, I feel so blessed and so unbelievably grateful and privileged that I can have an impact on people in that kind of scenario, just by being, I feel like there's a fine line sometimes between, especially even on the high rocks, like, if I'm on crutches and running past people, I don't want to ever demoralize people, but I've seen that I can have an amazing impact on so many people in high rocks and on a marathon, people in the crowd on the streets. Like, I, I did a marathon because of you. Like, that honestly motivates me and gives me such an unbelievable purpose. Like, that, I felt that in the marathon. I don't think I could do that on a random Saturday morning by myself. I just don't think it would be possible for me. But
Yeah,
there, in that situation with that purpose, then yeah, anything was possible for me. So that's why I'm so grateful forever and always to everyone who supports, because I genuinely don't think it would be possible for me otherwise.
yeah, amazing. Am I right in thinking that you've got another Ironman planned?
Yeah, yeah. So it doesn't sit well with me that, okay, I don't like to call it failure because I've done a lot of self introspection since failing the Copenhagen Ironman in August. It's a dream of mine to be, like, to say I'm an Ironman. Like, I feel like that brings certain type of gravitas, especially when I'm on crutches. Like, it's just, I love to defy odds and, push my limits, and that for me has always been, like, for a number of years now, since being in hospital. Like, if I can do that, that's the absolute dream. So I put so much into that, that it did genuinely break me. Like, when I regardless of how things go, when you work towards something for so long and then it's done, you obviously do pile in. It's like falling off the edge of a cliff, and like, what's next? And, like, I just obviously need to do one. for myself. Like need, then I don't like to use the word need. There's no shoulds in life, but there's massive coulds. But like for me, that's some like an obsession for me now, which is good because it's keeping me going. Like it's motivating me. But like I say, it's not actually about that as such. It's everything that it means and the whole journey. And yeah, we'll see. I don't know if it's possible. I genuinely don't, because it was definitely possible in August, and the degradation of my bones and the degeneration of my joints and stuff. Like who knows if it will ever be possible, but I'm going to give it a good go. So yeah, August next year, is like Kalmar in Sweden. Like hopefully, fingers crossed, save the date, 15th of August. That's going to be my dream in terms of actual goals and actual like measurable, performance goals. That's what I'd love to do.
Okay.
Memento mori, every single day between now and then. The time's ticking. So like, yeah, in terms of motivation, like how can you not be motivated? Yeah, it's
Yeah.
beautiful.
Amazing. Do you have a favorite sporting experience, both in general, but also in HYROX as well?
Actually, when you said that, it was HYROX. So it was the finish for the World Championships last year. I don't know if you saw it.
Yeah.
I like the HYROX World Championships last year. Well, this year, but this last season just gone in Chicago. It was not my best race by any stretch of the imagination. I'm always like kind of wary of. It's not about the time. It's not about, it's just about pushing yourself. It's about being there for everyone. And yeah, I actually really struggled in that race, like really, really struggled. I've got a pacemaker as well. So I was born with a hole in my heart. And there were a few complications and I could have easily pulled out of that race. But it was everyone that kept me going. I just had, there was nothing stopping me finishing that race. And it took me quite a while. But yeah, just having the whole support of, the whole HYROX world team, like even ran a few laps with me, just everyone there supporting, and to be able to throw the final wall balls of the season, it was incredible. Like I would have those moments again way more than any victories or any fastest PBs or anything like that. But yeah, I still get goosebumps just thinking about it. It was I'm so grateful for everyone for that moment. It bring me a lot of strength for the future, I'm sure, in terms of reminding myself that it's not necessarily about winning all the time. You can
Yeah.
win even when you don't win. I think that.
Awesome. Do you have more HYROX planned in the near future?
Yeah. So like I said, I'm buzzing for it. It's perfect training for life, perfect kind of metaphor for life as well, just with everyone. But they're Dublin in a few weeks.
Okay.
I'm doing that. I'm actually doing a doubles with a friend of mine as well, which will be even more special. And I'm doing a doubles in Madrid as well, which perhaps actually, given all I've just said, will be about a time goal for me. I really want to send that because I'm doing a doubles with Ollie Russell. So obviously he's a Elite 15 doubles racer. And he said we want to try and go as quick as we can. And I love his mindset. He really has a so similar mindset for me in terms of 1% margins and, just not necessarily being tough on yourself, but just demanding excellence. And I think that will be good for me. It will challenge me in all the right ways. So I want to go as quick as we can, and I'm sure he'll be barking at me to not let up and not be weak. So I'm kind of semi-petrified, but absolutely looking forward to it at the same time. That would be class.
Awesome. Love it. Ollie's been on this podcast, I don't know when,
Yeah.
a couple of months ago, but yeah, he's great. How do you want to be remembered?
So you know why I'm scared then, doing a doubles with him?
yeah, definitely.
Yeah. He's a legend. How do I want to be remembered? Just as I guess, a guy who virtue above all, I suppose. I think gratitude is the greatest of all virtues. Doing the right thing, nothing else matters. I will quote all these kind of stoic kind of philosophies till the cows come home. But yeah, I think for me it comes down to not being necessarily just being a bit of a machine, being an animal. I like to. I do have an ego, obviously. I think it's having an ego, but being able to control it. Like I'd love to be the best possible athlete that I can possibly be. And I'd love people to remember me as an athlete first and foremost, rather than, you know, a guy with disabilities or a guy with, you know, I think if that can be completely removed from the equation, then I think, you know, I love it when people say like what an athlete I am. Like that's my own ego, I guess. But it's more than that. It's about what that means. And yeah, I think being told you're a good human is probably the best compliment in the world. I'd love to be known for that. I don't know, waffling on. Yeah.
No, that's great. That's great. Love it. Well, this has been fantastic. Is there anything else I should have asked you? Anything else you want to talk about? And then also, if people want to follow you, find out more about you, things like that, where should they go?
Just get after it. I think we can waffle on podcasts, like, you know, talk to yourself, Greg, like, and everyone in the arena, like, as long as we want. I think sometimes you can overthink things. I think you get out there and live it for yourself. I think that's all I want people to do. Like, you don't need me to come here and talk to you and tell you how to think or what my experiences are. Like, I think get out there and you'll see what I mean. And I'm sure anyone who is listening to this who has done a HYROX knows exactly what I mean by that. It's good to remind yourself sometimes, though, especially when you're on that start line, you're feeling a little bit nervous. You know, none of that matters. Just enjoy every single moment, man. How can you not?
Yeah, and the obstacle is the way.
Yeah. Oh man, namaste.
Brilliant, awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you. So,
Thanks for having me, Greg.
Where should people go? Is Instagram the best place?
Yeah. I'm I would say I'm in that age group where I'm not new age TikTok maestro / all the other stuff that you could get on these days, but I very much use Instagram as a platform for, you know, speaking to people and just manifesting good vibes and energy. So absolutely. And in person, obviously. I love saying hello to everyone at HYROX. It's not necessarily about the racing, it's the supporting and then chatting to people and everything that experience brings. So yeah.
Okay.
Cheers.
Awesome. All right. Nice one. Thank you. Appreciate this.